Okay, I'm Justin Thomas. I'm a psychologist. I work at ITHRA Sync, which is a digital well-being program based in Saudi Arabia. So first of all, really, what is digital well-being? Lots of people have got different ideas about what that phrase means. But for us, essentially, digital well-being is concerned with the impact that technology has on our physical, psychological, emotional health. And the impact can be positive and it can be negative. And we all know that there's so many positive impacts, but very often the negative impacts are overlooked, and the negative impacts are usually unintended consequences. So we know that tech is beneficial, it's meant to be beneficial, and there's tons of benefits, but there are also unintended consequences, things that we didn't expect to see happen. So for example, when you're in a seminar like this, in a conference like this, often you look around and you'll see about 30-40% of the people, the attendees, they're on their phones. And you think there's a person up on the stage dancing their heart out, playing the violin, sharing their life's work, and 30-40% of the audience are distracted on their phone. Now, I'm not going to say whether that's right or wrong, but that's kind of the world we've drifted towards. When we developed these technologies, that wasn't what we intended, and there are other unintended consequences. So, there's lots of talk about behavioural addiction, people being, using technology as a distraction to take them away from their boredom, take them away from their anxiety, to take them away from other emotional pains. And that, like anything that takes away pain, is a painkiller, and it can become, for want of a better word, habit forming, like an addiction. So these are some of the areas and issues that we focus on as part of our digital well-being program, with full cognizance and awareness that technology is a powerful force for good. We're not negating that by asserting that there are also these negative unintended consequences that we can't just sweep under the carpet, we can't just ignore them, or if we do, we do so to our own detriment and our own peril, as individuals and as a society, because many of these issues we've seen, when in the run-up to elections, we see how some of these technologies can be leveraged to shape public opinion in really underhand ways. We end up with echo chambers, we end up with polarization in society. So really what we're concerned about is how can we mitigate some of this, how can we prevent some of this, how can we make sure we move forward with technology in ways that minimize some of these unintended harms and consequences. So really that's what Sync, our initiative, the Digital Wellbeing Initiative, is all about. And I think it's not one of those things that stands still. Next year there'll be a new topic, whether that's addiction to AI friends or whatever it is, my AI doesn't like me anymore. Whatever the new thing is, there's always going to be these unintended side effects, byproduct consequences, and we get caught up in the hype of the good stuff, but we really can't take our eyes off the other stuff. We can, but if we do, it's negligent. And I think this is one of the themes of this particular summit, AI for Good, is to leverage the good. And part of leveraging the good is to also minimize the harm. Acknowledge that these things can do harm and try to minimize it. Eyes wide open.